Good afternoon, dear students. This is Dr. Pratibha K.S., Head Department of Biotechnology at KLE Society's S. Nijinappa College, Rajaynagar, Bengaluru. Today, Miss Vaishnavi S. from second year CBBT, she is going to present her lecture talk on lipids. Now, over to Vaishnavi.
Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. Pratibha K.S. ma'am for giving me this opportunity to present a lecture talk on lipids. Today, let us know the most important and essential the part of our diet and essential constituent of our cell and body, that is lipids. Let us first know what are lipids and why do we need them. As soon as we hear the word lipid, we assume this as a oily or a greasy things that will come to our mind first. So now let us discuss in further in detail about these lipids. Lipids are most important constituents of our diet because they have very high energy value and also because of their fat soluble vitamins, and they serve as a essential source of energy which is stored in the adipose tissue. Now, do you know where these adipose tissues are found? They are found all over the body. Mainly, they are found underneath the skin and around the internal organs and between the muscles, within the bone marrow, etc. As the mitochondria is the commonly called the powerhouse of the cell, they contain major parts of lipids. They are also serve as insulating material around the certain organs. They are most importantly, they are also have essential fatty acids found within the fat of natural foodstuffs like ghee, edible oils, butter, etc. And let us, as we are dealing with the biochemistry part, now let us know the perfect definition of the lipids. The lipids are large and diverse group of naturally occurring organic solvents. We are example like ether, chloroform, acetone and benzene. They are insoluble in water. Lipids are also called as heterogeneous group of compounds related to fatty acids, which includes fats, oils, waxes and other related substances. So we'll know more about this lipids. It was first termed by the German biochemist called Blohr in 1943. They are the oily or greasy organic substances and they are insoluble in water, that is they'll float on water. They are considerably soluble in organic solvents like ether, chloroform and benzene. They are hydrophobic in nature. Hydrophobic means they are uh, water hating substances. So this is the structure of some common fatty acids, that is glycerol. That is glycerol, when it is attached with three fatty acid chains, they form triglyceride or neutral fat with three molecules of water. Now we'll move on to the classification of lipids. They are lipids are classified into simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids. Simple lipids are further classified into fats and oils, that is triglycerides and waxes. Now we'll move on to know about fats and oils. These are the esters of fatty acids with trihydroxy alcohol, glycerol, etc. A fat is a solid at this fat is solid at ordinary room temperature and will be an oil is liquid. So here I've tried to show some fat containing food, that is dry fruits, avocado, oil in this picture. Now let us move on to acylglycerols. They are also known as triglycerols. Uh, in specifically speaking of triglycerides, they are solid in room temperature, but in special case like oil they are liquid. And abundant available of lipid of all other lipids, 98% of dietary fat which are essential for energy production, and remaining 2% are cholesterol and its esters. As they are abundantly available, they act as the major storage substances in the plants and in animal cells. They are not found in membranes or outer surface of the membranes. They are polar, they are non-polar, which means they do not have any separation of charges that like a negative or a positive charge. They are hydrophobic in nature, and that is they are water hating substances, as they do not contain highly polar functional hydrophobic functional groups. This is the basic structure of uh, triglycerides. And unsaturation of, let us move on to unsaturation of triglycerides. There are two types of fatty acids, which are saturated fatty acids and non-unsaturated fatty acid. These unsaturated fatty acids get bonded with halogen group, and they result in the decolorization of the fatty acid, which is known as iodination, which is used to, this iodination is used to find out the degree of unsaturation of fatty acid or oil. Then iodine number, it is the iodine number is used to calculate the rate of iodination. We use iodine number. Weight in grams, it is done as weight in grams of iodine divided by 100 grams of oil or fat which is present. Now we will understand how degree of unsaturation is measured or calculated. It is calculated by iodine number. Iodine number is nothing but the weight of iodine in grams, where it is taken in 100 grams of oil or fat. Let us understand the given below examples, where butane reacts with iodine. It gives 2,3 diiodobutene. So the degree of saturation here, it is, sorry, um, now let us I'm sorry for this. Iodine number in this in this reaction, the degree of saturation here, it is calculated by the conversion of butene to butane. Hence the number of iodine is directly proportional to the unsaturation of fat or oil. That is, greater the iodine number, greater will be the degree of unsaturation. Now let us see the general chemical formula of triglycerides. Here R refers to the alkyl group, and R dash and R double dash represents another two different types of alkyl groups as shown below. Now let us move on to the hydrolysis of this triglycerides. The hydrolysis of yields a molecule of glycerol and a salt which is of higher fatty acid, that is soap. This process is known as saponification. When triglycerides reacts with water and in presence of lipase, they give glycerols and the fat, fat in this and the fatty acids. In this reaction results in the formation of glycerols and salts of fatty acid, which are called as soaps. Soaps are of two types, that is hard soaps and soft soap. So saponification number, it is defined as the number of milligrams of KOH required to saponify 1 gram of fats or oil. When triglycerol reacts with NaOH, it gives glycerol and soaps and glycerols. Now let us move on to the second type of simple lipid, that is waxes. These waxes are the esters of the fatty acids with long chain of monohydric alcohols. These natural waxes are often mixtures of esters, may also contains hydrocarbons. Where waxes are widely distributed in nature, the leaves and fruits of many plants have wax coating which protect them from the dehydration and small predators. The feathers of bird and fur of some animals are also seen with wax coatings. They have similar wax coating as on the plants, which serve as water repellent. Then formulas of three important waxes, that is spermiceti wax, beeswax, and carnauba wax. The fatty acids um, um, these bee waxes are used in preparation of these all three types of waxes. They are used in making of candles. They are used in making certain kinds of facial whatever the uh, products we use on the face, like face packs, creams, different types of moisturizers, etc. And now we'll move on to the compound lipids. They are the esters of fatty acids with alcohols and possesses additional groups of such as phosphate groups, phosphate groups. They are of two types: phospholipids and glycolipids. Phospholipids, they are the most abundant lipids which are found in membrane. These phospholipids contains phosphorus in the form of phosphoric acids and groups. They differ from triglycerides in possessing unusual one hydrophilic polar head, that is they are water loving, and usually two hydrophobic non-polar tails, which is the reason they are often called polar lipids. This is I think you remember this structure where it is used in while explaining the transport mechanism structure of phospholipids. And now let us move on to the plasmogens. They are constitute about the 10% of phospholipids, which is present in brain and muscles. These are apparently not found in significant quantities in plant tissues. And one of the most potent biological molecules, which is platelet activating factor, that is PAF, which is a choline plasmogen, in which the carbon 2 position of the glycerol is esterified and with an acetyl group instead of long fatty acid chain. And now let us move on to glycolipids. These are widely distributed in most of the tissues of the body, and particularly in the nervous system, such as brain, that is central nervous system. Like phospholipids, glycolipids are also composed of hydrophobic region and two hydrocarbon tails and the polar region. In plasma membrane, they serve as the cell membrane receptors. And major glycolipid of animal tissue are glycosphingolipids, and they are ceramide and one or more sugars. So this is the structure of glycolipids. Now let us move on to the sphingolipids, that is these are commonly found in the nerve tissue, especially in the myelin sheath of the nerve. They are apparently lack in plants and microorganisms. They are found in very low quantity, and in a syndrome called Niemann-Pick disease, the sphingolipids or sphingomyelins are stored in the large quantities in the brain. Hence, this Niemann-Pick disease is caused, and they are electrically charged molecules and contain phenolphthalein as their polar heads group. And now let us move on to the derived lipids, that is the other type of lipids. These derivatives, they are the derivatives obtained on hydrolysis of these either simple lipids and complex lipids. In this case, this class includes fatty acids, alcohols, steroids, terpenes, and carotenoids. And now let us I'll brief out steroids, carotenoids, and terpenes. These steroids are uh, nothing but the man-made version of the chemicals which are known as artificial hormones. They are designed to act like hormones to reduce inflammation. These steroids are nowadays used in treatment of coronavirus, where in a very small quantities to recover a, in a very positive way. Anabolic steroids, they are used in bodybuilders and athletes to they gain their strength in very short time. Carotenoids, they are also known as terpenoids. They are produced in plants and algae, which are organic pigments like red, orange, yellow colors. They give red, orange, and yellow colors. Hence, they give characteristic color to the pumpkins, carrot, corns, tomatoes we eat. And terpenes, they are the aromatic compounds which are found in plants. They create characteristic scent in many plants such as cannabis, lavender, and fresh orange peel. And they also help in bringing, attracting the other organisms to take their pollen germany, that is pollen transfer. So this is I've showed you the pictures which show you the steroids, carotenoids, and the terpenes. Now fatty acids. Let us move on talk about fatty acids. Fatty acids are nothing but mm, they are nothing but the long chain of organic compounds which usually has 30 to 4 to 30 carbon atoms. They have single carboxyl group and long nonpolar uh, hydrocarbon tail. They occur in combined state. They do not occur in free or uncombined state in any cells or tissues. They are present in covalently bound form in different classes of lipids. These fatty acids, they occur in natural fats, usually monocarboxylic acids, and contain even number of carbon atoms as they are synthesized from two carbon units, and these are usually straight chain derivatives, and they are stored as energy reservoir in ester linkage to glycerol to form triglycerides. And the structure of fatty acids influences the structure of lipids. And saturated fatty acids, the fatty acid chain, the carbon atoms could have single bonds between them, making the lipid saturated. This generates the fats that are usually solid at the room temperature, whereas unsaturated fatty acids, they have one or more bonds between the carbon atoms and are double bonds. And lipids is said to be unsaturated. If there is one double bond, the triglycerides is said to be monosaturated, and if it is in multiple bonds, they are said polyunsaturated lipids. So unsaturated fatty acids are usually liquid at room temperature and are called as oils. And the fat molecules which are fully saturated tails can pack tightly against one another because of the single bonds, resulting in the straight molecules. This tight packing generates the fats that are solid at room temperature. Example, uh, butter, whatever the thing you tell, cheese, they are all in the saturated form. Unsaturated fatty acids, which are in nature, usually contain cis double bonds. They have bent tails, and this means they are not able to be tightly packed and results in oils at that room temperature. And some of the fatty acids which are saturated, they have I have showed you here in the formula form and their common names and their melting points. The lauric acid, they have melting point is 45 degree in celsius, and mustard acid, it is 55 degree in celsius. And now I'll say about unsaturated fatty acids which are formula with common name and melting point. Palmitoic acid, they have 0 degree in the melting point, that is they have in liquid form. And oleic acid, that is 13 degrees celsius, they are really very low. And now let us move on to alcohols. Yes, alcohols are found in lipid molecules that may be saturated. They are commonly include glycerols, cholesterol, and other higher alcohols such as cetyl alcohol. Here I showed you the structure of glycerol and acetyl alcohol. In the above structure of glycerol, the C carbon atoms are designed to be stereospecific numbers, that is 1, 2, and 3 from any end. And as 1 and 3 carbon atoms are identical, and these 3 carbon atoms are better denoted by an older nomenclature, that is alpha, beta, and alpha dash. Among the unsaturated alcohols found in these fats, they include the number of pigments like phytol and lycophyll. Example, the latter is found in tomatoes as a purple pigment, forming a purple pigment on tomatoes. Here is the purple pigment on tomatoes and even on the capsicum fruits. Now let us move on to the rancidity of the um, rancidity concept, where rancidity is the chemical change which resulted in unpleasant odor and taste in oil or fat, and it is caused by the growth of microorganisms which secrete enzymes like lipase. Butter, when it is stored for a long period of time, they often become rancid and they are unpleated. They can be prevented from becoming rancid by refrigeration or exclusion of water, and it can be prevented by addition of antioxidants like vitamin A, like vitamin E. So this is the rancid butter, and there I have showed you the rancid ghee oil, which is which we get a foul smell from them. And now let us move on to the hydrogenation of oils. The unsaturated fatty acids either are free or they are in combined in lipids. They react with gaseous hydrogen to yield the saturated fatty acids. It is catalyzed by the platinum, palladium, or nickel. Here I have given the formula for where they are used. They are catalyzed by nickel, where oil is reacts with hydrogen. They in presence of nickel at 180 degrees Celsius, we get fats. So oil is catalyzed here. Oil and the catalyst is poured from the inlet valve, and they give the steam and water is exchanged here. The hydrogen is in sent inside, and the steam and water uh, uh, is exchanged, where we get the oil as the final result. So uh, prostaglandins, they are the C20 fatty acids with a cyclopentane ring in the molecule. The effect of blood pressure and blood clotting, gastric secretion, contraction of smooth muscles, and reproduction, they affect on these things, and they act as the modulators of many physiological processes, including those regulation of the hormones. They are regarded as the local hormones. Thank you. I thank Dr. Pratibha ma'am for giving me this opportunity to talk on lipids. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Vaishnavi, for a wonderful presentation on lipids. I hope our viewers will utilize this one and they'll be able to go through all the concepts related to lipids. Thank you everyone for watching this video.